Hey guys, I'm so excited to show you my pin craft today. It's with I wouldn't say she's my favorite princess because I love Cinderella. I've loved her since I was a little girl. I just love everything about Cinderella. There's all these things I think are amazing about her. But there's something special about Pocahontas that's just so, I don't know, that movie was just really beautiful visually with the colors and the saturation of the colors. And I don't know, there's something about it that just draws me in. And I just loved Pocahontas, and I'm drawn to her anytime I see a pin with her or artwork with her. She just is so beautiful. There's something about her that's just so special. So I decided I would do a pin craft with her, but I got the idea because my friend Cara, I made this Pocahontas inspired card back in August. I think it was like one of the first I've only made a couple, but I think it was one of the first cards I think I posted on TikTok on the Clock app. But I thought it was so cool, and just like the idea of the colors of the wind, and Cara's Collectibles mentioned how this might be a really good pin craft. And I'm like, she is so smart. And of course, all the wheels started turning, and I've been meaning to do this craft since August, but then all these other things got in the way. So I'm so excited to make this craft because, one, it's going to sit on my desk and just be like a little inspiration and reminder to me of just good things to come, you know, that there's always good things to come. And also just, it's fun to make something new. And I think this could be done with any, you know, it doesn't have to be just fig pin, but cool thing is that fig pins are really large. You know, most pins are really small. Like, you know, these are pins that I got from my niece. You know, most pins are pretty small. So if you're going to put them in a frame, it's just going to be a tiny frame. But this is a nice big one. And I think when you see what I'm do with it and how it turns out, it would be a nice piece to like have on a desk or a shelf and just look really just more substantive than the pin. And by the way, fig pins are awesome as they are, just because they sit in their own little stand, which I only learned, you know, after a while of collecting some pins, that they had these little stands. And I thought that was just really cool that you could kind of stack them up almost like action figures, you know? And I thought that was kind of neat. But I'm going to do something else with it just to elevate it. No offense to fig pin. I still think their pins are pretty awesome. And look at the detail on the pin. I mean, the detail and shine, I don't know. To me, it was just really well done pin. This whole series that they did was really nice. I have a few different ones. I have the Cinderella one for it. I have a few different ones from it. I really hope you enjoy this craft. I love teaching people how to create things. I was a teacher for all my career. Now I write the curriculum books for where I work, which is great. It's a great job, 100% a great job. But there is a passion that I have for teaching, and this is like an outlet for that. And so I really love that I'm able to fulfill that need, but in a different way. I appreciate you. I really hope you enjoy this. And, you know, thanks for just watching. Just thanks for watching. That's all. I'm grateful for that always. Hey guys. So first things first, make sure that you have some kind of frame. I'm using a 5x7. Part of me wishes it was a little bit smaller, but this is the best. I wanted this design. I really liked that this particular texture kind of matched her clothing. So that was my personal preference. So you can see it has this like nice little weaving. Hopefully it'll zoom in. Nice little weave, or like textured looking weave. And so hopefully that you could see that and it doesn't come out funny. But so I went to Marshall's and bought this specifically, but you can find a lot of really, really nice frames at the thrift store for $1, $2. Now, some thrift stores go out of control and charge crazy prices. I'm not recommending that. But, you know, find a frame that you really like. So for our card, I went ahead and I decided, not card, for our craft, I went ahead and instead of using the rainbow paper that was in the original card, I have more of this paper, but when I saw this, doesn't this totally remind you of the scene where she's standing up on the, like the rock and the sun is behind her, and it's just beautiful, right? So I felt like this was a better paper for that. So we're going to be using this paper. This will get a little bit messy, so be sure to be ready with your alcohol wipes when you're going to do this. So alcohol helps keep the ink, or hand sanitizer. Other friends use hand sanitizer. This alcohol wipes just kind of stop the ink from spreading. It doesn't clean it off your hands, but it just dries it quickly so that it doesn't get on everything. Because what will happen often with reds and dark colors and blues and stuff, or anytime you get ink on your hands, sometimes you'll press on the paper and your nice clean paper that you were trying to use now has a big ink mark because your hands got dirty. So just be ready with these, especially because the daubers are a little messier than the blending brushes. But now if you don't have these daubers, or if you don't have a blending brush, you know, I have also used Kleenex because I didn't have either. The problem is the Kleenex leaves a lot of lint on your ink pad. So you know, you got to balance it, you know? So, so it just tends to leave a lot of ink on the ink pad, or a lot of lint on the ink pad. And even now I can see there's some like lint on here, yeah. And look, I already got it on my finger, and see, look, I'm already able to mark the paper with the ink that was just on my finger. So just be ready, be careful. So I'm going to take this dauber and I'm going to practice it on the white first. And so that way you can see, so when I first daub it, it's pretty red. You know what I mean? It's like really, really red. So I always like to do a little practice first, and then I start going around. Now, the problem with the dauber is it's not as smooth as if you had the blending brush. You know, the blending brush is just so smooth, but all of my blending brushes are either yellow or black, or they're either yellow or black, or like browns, and we don't have to do the whole center because a lot of this center is going to get covered. But I did want to make sure it had just a touch. I didn't want it to be this color, which is the color of the ink, but I did want it to still have a peachy red color. You know what I mean? So it's like, this is how you find that middle ground color, you know? You know what else is a good thing? I was telling you about using the Kleenex. Sometimes you can blend out some of that extra ink that's right on the top with just a little bit of Kleenex. Sometimes. It doesn't always work. And let's see if this is covered enough. Yep, we got it all the way around the edge. And I kind of like that it's like not consistent. I need a little bit more ink, I think, on this edge here, because we don't want the original color to show through. And just for good measure, we'll do it down here too. We just don't want this original petal pink, which is a perfectly fine color. I just needed something a little bit darker, but not as dark as Flirty Flamingo or Calypso Coral. And so there we go. So now it's colored in a little bit more. So now I know this is enough, right? So now I know that the barrier layer has got enough coloring on it. So we're done with this one. And I have this little plastic bag. It's just a bag that had some embellishments in it. I'm just going to go ahead and pop these because they're pink and red. I'm going to pop them in the little plastic bag so that I have a nice, so that it doesn't get on anything, you know, because the ink clearly does move around. And I actually think there might be some on my hands. Yeah, just a little bit. There was just a touch. Okay, but I always have the alcohol wipe just in case. All right, so now we're going to take the red. Let's see. There could be even red on the edge. Now it dried. Okay, so now with the red, again, we got to be really careful because red is like, red's a tough color because red can be really severe. Is it dried out? No. Red can come out really severe. Okay, there we go. And I don't want it to be, I don't want to replace the orange with the red, which is almost what I did at times. Oh, I did that on here more. See, I almost replaced the color, and I don't want that. So we want red. We just need it to be, well, I want to get it on the paper, but just not in the wrong spot. Okay. See, that is like a big amount of red, and I didn't really want that much red. But I want it to be like a burnt orange. You know what I mean? I want to have some red in there so that it's not so, oh gosh, what's that? It looks like there's something in the paper. Or is that from the alcohol? Oh, it's from the alcohol. It'll dry in a minute. It looks like it's from the alcohol. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. This corner is a little dark, but if I look at the rest, it looks pretty even. This corner is just my problem, but it looks good. I think it looks good. And remember, the piece of paper we have going over it is this. So a lot of it's not going to be seen, but I still colored it all the way in. I know I didn't have to color it that far in, but. All right, so now we're going to take our layer and we're going to be gluing our layer to this. And so I know it doesn't seem like I did anything here to the, I know what part of me is like, I don't even know if you can tell I did something. So here's the difference between the original orange and the new orange. So I did do something. I know it might be, I'll zoom in here so you can see. So here's the original orange. Here's the newer orange that I put. It's a little darker, richer. I know it's a subtle detail, but it's there, I promise. And so it's funny how like, I know it's what I want, but it doesn't always look right. And so, okay. So we'll go ahead. And I'm sure it's Stampin' Up! Made a color that was this dark orange before, but it's not current. So Stampin' Up! Releases their colors in different batches, like 5 new colors a year. And then some colors retire. And so, and then they re-release and change out. And, you know, it's based on trends, you know. Our huge Pocahontas pin from Fig Pin. Thank you, Fig Pin. I should try and register this. I don't know if, I don't think I have registered the number on the back. I should try it. I haven't really learned the details of the rewards and stuff of those fig pins. So, as you can see, it's just, I think it's going to be really cool when you have her down here at the bottom. And then I'm going to have the leaves around the top here. And so what we need to stamp are some leaves. I want to practice stamping out a couple of the leaves and just try out some colors. Got like a hair. Try out some colors. These leaves came from the Fall into Toile stamp set from the Paper Pumpkin kit, which when you look at the tagged video, you'll see my other video of this Pocahontas card that I made. I'm pretty sure I made a video. I hope so. If not, I'll make one. So let's just try a couple out and see which ones we like. And then I actually might stamp it on these as a practice to see if I like it, but I'm kind of scared because I hate to waste paper. But sometimes you kind of gotta risk it for the biscuit. Okay, yeah, I don't want white. I definitely don't want to stamp it on white. But you know what? Let's go ahead and stamp it on here and see. I think we're going to have to make this scrapper tester because I don't want to use a giant piece and stamp on this and have it be really bad, you know? So let's use this scrap that was left over and we'll use it as our tester. So this is pumpkin pie. And I'm going to stamp it over here too to see if I like that. Oh, I kind of like that. Okay, I think this is going to work. Just got to decide on the colors, and you can only decide on which colors you're going to use. There's a little bit of Cajun Craze down here in the yellow. So let's try out a yellow. So this is Cajun Craze. It's like a mustard. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to like this mustard. Oh, it doesn't actually look bad, but this is a maybe. Cajun Craze is a maybe. Now this Pretty in Pink might be too pink. Let's try out another. It might be too light. Yeah, the Pretty in Pink is not going to work, I think, because it's a little too light. Let me stamp it in another area to see. I guess it does sort of work. Let's keep it to the side. Let's try the peach pie. Okay, so we cleaned off our stamps real quick. All right. Now let's try peach pie. Peach pie is a light orange. This might be good. But let's try it next to the pumpkin pie. It actually doesn't look bad because it does look like the pumpkin pie looks more red, you know, when I stamp it. Okay, so now let's try the red. The red is going to be a harsh color. So, oh, the red's going to work because you see, you want to have a pop. The Cajun Craze and the Pretty in Pink don't really, I'll show you up close in a second. And what's the one I haven't stamped yet? This one. And now we have Flirty Flamingo, which is the oh, that actually might work. So this is what Flirty Flamingo dries. It'll dry too. Oh, it's real messy. And I think Bubble Bath would be too light. Pretty in Pink might be better than the, let's see how that dries. Yeah, let's see how this one dries. So we're gonna definitely use red. We're gonna definitely use pumpkin pie. I think I'm gonna use this peach pie as well. We're just deciding on the pinks. And these are the, let me put it up closer so you can see. All right, so as you can see, this is the pumpkin pie. This is the peach pie. This is red. This is that Flirty Flamingo. So when I first stamped it, it looked like it was red, but it's actually more of a pinky color now. But see, this light pink was almost too light, you know, because you want it to be on top of this designer paper, but you don't want it to get lost in the designer paper. The red is good, but it's almost a little too harsh. I actually think these three colors are good. Because I have 3 leaves, I think I wanted to stick with 3 colors. The crushed curry has a little too much brown in it. So that's what this color is right here. It has a little too much brown to make it mustardy, and it just isn't, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it, Mr. Krabs. And so, and then again, this is the Bubble Bath or Pretty in Pink. And Pretty in Pink is almost like too light. We'll keep her out just in case, but I think we're gonna we're gonna ditch the red, we're gonna ditch the crushed curry. Remember, we're gonna be putting our Pocahontas right here. So we're gonna need to start stamping our leaves down in the corner here, just like we had done over here. And I might put butterflies on this too. Let's see. So I want to mimic this same pattern because I liked how this pattern fit together. So let's go ahead and do that. Whoops. Just throwing things over here. All right. And I'm going to keep moving this pin The ink is not going to stain this pin because it's not permanent ink. This is water-based ink. So I'm not worried about getting the water. Since it's water-based, for it to stick to this pin, I would need to soak it. And even then, I don't think it would stain it. The red could possibly add a little something, but it'd be really tough. It'd be really, really tough. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll start in the corner and we'll move on up like I did with the original pin or the original card. I like this long one. So we'll start down here in the corner. We're going to be putting her right about here. So I'm going to be putting this leaf right here. And then I'm going to stamp it again. Let's put it 1, 2 spots over. I'm going to be stamping it in the opposite direction. Just a little bit further. And then we'll do like maybe that, and then we'll do this one, this direction here. And then we'll do 1, 2. This is just to help me guide how far away the next leaf will need to be. It's not a perfect science. Okay, and like I smushed it a little here. It's not ideal, but I'll make it work. And I'm not sure if I need more down here, so I'm just gonna wait and see. So we're done with the orange one for now. So then I'll take this next one, which will be this pink. Flirty Flamingo, I mean. And I'm gonna turn this leaf inward a little bit. But see, it has like such a, and then I just keep rotating the leaf. And so I'll put it next to the other one, but I don't want it in the same direction. Sorry, I have to move this a little bit. I want him to rotate directions. And so this one, I'll have it go down this way. And this one, I'll have it go up this way. Like I said, we'll probably need one down here. That got a little bit mushy. But again, it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna make it work. And then this last one is going to be the peach pie. And then we'll see if we need any other. Oh, these ones are all moving that direction. That's not really what I wanted. So let me go ahead and take that pretty in pink and let me clean off one. Let me close this. I'm going to take that pretty in pink and we'll add a little bit because we're going to put our Pocahontas here. It's like not full enough. I think we need a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the one that's not long. These two are long leaves. So let's use one that's not long, the short squattier one that I just stamped. Let's use this one and stamp some pink, some pretty in pink. We'll stamp some here and we'll stamp some in this direction here. We'll stamp some like down here. We'll stamp some right here, especially right here because it got a little funny. And so like you can really see it at the top, not so much down here, but I've still got an idea. And over here. And then we might stamp one more leaf right here in a different color. So we've got our basic leaves. Remember that scrap? Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to cut out some of these leaves that I did. So I didn't totally waste this scrap. I'm going to cut out some of these and we'll have them floating around and make them 3D. I was going to stamp them in white, but when I stamped them in white, they were like too harsh against this really beautiful paper. There we go. And so let me cut this just a little tighter. There we go. And see if I pop this right here, it might actually be better than even the pink one that I put there. And so we're going to be using these scraps that I stamped, my testers, which wasn't really my plan. We'll be using these testers to try and like add a little more dimension to this. So when you cut paper, I'll say it in every video, when you cut paper, turn the paper, not the scissors. Turn the paper, not the scissors. Always turn the paper. So these were a happy accident. I'm going to even use this red one. Even though I didn't use red in most of my stamping, I'll use this red one. I don't think it'll look bad. So let's go ahead and this one's rounded. I just think these will help elevate this whole craft. I love Pocahontas. I kind of like that she's a hard to find princess too. It's made it better when I'm buying pins. Sorry, I'm trying not to go off screen when I'm cutting. It's a little difficult because, yeah, I just don't want to use this curry because see how it's like very mustardy. It has too much brown. It just has a little too much brown in it. If I hold it up, you can see there's a couple spots where you can't even tell there's a leaf, but this is where Pocahontas will be. So I'm not too worried about that. This spot right here definitely needs a 3D element because the leaves are almost blended in with the ink of the paper. So you really can't see it. And I might still stamp one or two more. Let's go ahead and glue this down. I think we're okay. I think we've gotten the basics of our, ooh, that alcohol really kind of messed up my project down there. That's a bummer. Be careful with the alcohol wipes I'd recommended to you guys. Just be cautious. It really is leaving a stain on the backside. All right, so most of this edging is going to get covered up because this is 5 by 7. This piece of petal pink cardstock is 5 by 7. And then, oops, it is not straight. There we go. And then this piece here, I believe is, yeah, 4 by 6 for this piece. Yeah, 4 by 6 for the DSP. So that means this is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 for the orange piece, the pumpkin pie piece. So the original petal pink was 5 by 7, and then I made this nice little layer down at the bottom here. Okay, so now let's go ahead. We're not going to use the glass. And this frame happened to already come with foam. So this frame already came with the foam. So we should be able to just put it right in. Oh, look, it fits so perfectly. And then Pocahontas, we should be able to put straight down into the base. Yep, there it goes. And I don't think she's even trying to come out the back here. Let's see. She's right in the foam. Yeah, so the foam was thick enough on this frame. Now we can't put glass like I have with other projects. We can't put any glass, but, and she, because it's just foam, styrofoam, it could move, you know what I mean? She could fall out. So the key to making sure she stays in is adding a glue dot. I'm gonna put a red leaf here. And a red leaf here. Oh, it's a little rough because the frame is in the way. I really hope. Oh, good. It was right against the frame and I was worried it wasn't going to go all the way down. I don't recommend you do this freehand, but again, remember I've done this like my whole life, so I'm okay with it. And this one I think I'll have right here. There we go. So now there's like a little more texture, and then I'm gonna add this one here with some dimensionals. All right, so now I'm gonna get my dimensionals really quick. My little baby dimensionals. I have the baby ones. Here we go. I have these baby dimensionals. Oh, I was gonna tell you the glue dot. So in order to keep it from moving around, put a glue dot underneath her. And these are archival safe, so it'll be fine. It's not going to harm the pin. That's a good one. And I'll put a couple, because she's a pretty big pin. So I still want her to be 3D, you know, but you just want to make sure she's not going to come out. I've had, I don't know if you remember the Lilo and Stitch one that I did. There we go. Sorry, that was off screen, I think. I did the Lilo and Stitch. Well, Stitch up here keeps coming off. She kept coming off and off and off. Finally, I had to put a glue dot, not only at her foot, but a second glue dot on the back of the card here so that she would stay. And it's also because this has fallen over a few times on my desk, and, you know, so... like even I could put one underneath Angel here, you know, to get her to keep from rolling around. But I'm going to bring this out every Christmas, put it with my Stitchmas stuff that I got. Yeah, there we go. And so these ones don't seem to slide as much, but Lilo just kept moving and falling. Finally, she fell out. And so I was able to put her back in, but I needed to put a glue dot against the green and a glue dot against the hill here to keep her from falling. So these little glue dots, it's not something major. And again, they're archival safe. They're not going to harm the pin because they're designed for photographs. They're designed for, you know, the most delicate of paper, you know, so you'll be fine. Your pin will be fine. So let's go ahead and kind of lay out how we want some of these to... I think I want to cover that one up with this one. I don't really like how that one turned out. So I'm going to do that. So for the sentiment, I decided to use the power of hope. Hope is the power that makes all things possible. And this is from several years ago. Oh gosh, this is like 6 or 7. This is like, I think, pre-COVID, to be honest. I think this is all possibly pre-COVID, this stamp set. And I want to use, I thought that was a good sentiment, something really positive. And we're going to go ahead and use one of these labels. I think we'll use, I think I wanted to use this one. Yeah. Yeah, I think I wanted to use that one. So I'm using the vanilla because 1, it matches the frame, and 2, so you see it's going to match the frame. Oh, it might be a little bit long, so I might have to wait on that, like, for the leaves. See, I'm glad I didn't glue anything down because the label's kind of big. I can put it up a little higher. Oh yeah, I think maybe I'll put it up a little bit higher, tucked in. I was thinking it would be 3D, but maybe not. We'll see. Okay, so let's stamp this. And now I know, that's why sometimes you try things out, you guys. You try it out first, and then you'll decide later what you want. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and make sure we get that down to the bottom of the flag. There we go. And then we'll come back to our card, and I want it up a little bit higher. So I might actually trim off this top little bit. But I don't know. I think that, I don't know if I want it going off the screen or if I want it off the frame or if I want it against the frame. Because if I trim it down, I can get it right against that orange. I think trimming it down is good. And I just trimmed off just a little bit above the sentiment. That's it. Just that's it. It's not gonna, so the top part of the sentiment's not gonna have the nice stitching. But now look at it. Oh yeah, that looks nice. I think that looks better than having it up there. Yeah. It looked almost like it was a mistake there. And now I can pop this up on dimensionals, which I think also makes it look better. So this should also be on dimensionals. So we'll go ahead and pop that up. And this one we can place because this is just done. I'm just going to use these tiny ones since they're here handy. And this will go on my desk and just remind me of something positive. My desk here at home, not at work. Okay. So this, those are going to slide. Needs to go right here, I think. Okay, I'm gonna have to place my leaves, I think, because I don't want to get it crooked. All right, so this one can go there because the flag will be there. Oh, I glued that one down. I didn't realize that. It's not the ones that I stamped were bad. It's just trying to, here, I'll set these to the side and we'll place those in a minute. It's not that the ones that I originally stamped were bad. It's just that they aren't popping from the paper like I need them to. There we go. That looks good. All right. So now we'll just decide, do I want to cover up that one with that? Or cover it up with this one, that's a different color. And then we can add this one right here. Oh, that looks good. And we can add this right here. It's just that this one was so faint, you can't even see it. Oh, that's right. That's why I had this one in here, because that one was so faint. Okay. And this one I want to cover up because I don't like it. All right, I like this one down here. And you get a variety of the colors. And this one I want to cover up because I can barely see it anyway. So and this one I think can go here. And this one can go here. We might stamp one or two more if we need. But we're also going to add the butterflies. So I think the butterflies add a nice little shine. There we go. And this can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one, I think this one can go right here. Yeah, I think this one should go right here. Okay, so there are the leaves. As you can see, they are 3D, but because they're the same paper as below, even though it's not the exact same part of the paper, like this part is not the same as underneath, it blends in but still gives like an extra oomph to it. I think that looks really good. I'm going to go ahead and put one on the label too. Oops, I want to put this one in this direction here, and the baby one in that direction there. Like I told you, I always like to add it in odd numbers. I'm gonna put this one flying just straight up. Let's put this little one down here. I'm using a lot because it's on a frame. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that might be it. I was almost going to add one down here, but I actually don't like this now, having the two. So I'm peeling one up. So I'm going to put the other one in the corner. For some reason, I don't like 3 on the label. Sometimes less is more, Jennifer. So I could put this one going this direction here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We need one more. Let's take a tiny one and put it right. Oops. Let's take a tiny one and put it right here. Oh, I actually kind of like it right there. Okay, there's our frame. So here's the inspiration, and here's the frame. As I put the card next to Pocahontas, her colors would have looked kind of harsh, or the brown against the rainbow backing, I think, would have looked a little strange. I think the clouds actually really lends itself, especially to that movie scene, you know, that I'm recreating essentially here. This looks really cool. And again, the glue dots are holding everything. My little pin is not loose. Now, if your piece slides, if your piece of cardstock slides in the frame, open the frame and tape it in. But yeah, look how cool that turned out, you know? And so I want to make sure, I'm trying to, looks cool, right? I think the 3D elements turned out really cool and even covered up. They weren't mistakes. I wouldn't say any leaves I made were mistakes. It's just I didn't like how they turned out in the end. I think some of the dark red was maybe more needed than I thought. But it looks really good. I think it just turned out really good. And so it still has the swirl around her, you know. I just think it looks really cool. Yeah. So that is our not card, our framed craft. Now this one I will not be selling in my Whatnot show, but I don't know, maybe I'll make some more, not of Pocahontas per se, but of other princesses maybe, if I have, you know, can find the right, you know, frames cheap enough and things like that, because right now my crafts are $30, so to have a frame that's $7, that adds quite a bit to the price. But, you know, I don't know. So you never know. So but I think it turned out really cool. Actually might even add some Wink of Stella to each one to make them shimmer, but I don't want to gild the lily. So pretty cool. Well, thanks for tuning in, you guys. I'm glad I got to show you how to make this. I appreciate you, as always. Comment, like, share, all the things. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope you have a great day.